There is a specific kind of silence that only happens when someone says exactly the right thing at exactly the wrong time. The room stops, the cameras find the target's face, and for one perfect second, nobody knows whether to laugh or call an ambulance. Nikki Glaser creates that silence for a living. She has made a room full of billionaires go quiet by telling them she knew they were choosing the next president.
I said, oh, it's nice to be, it was right before the election. I said, it's so cool to meet all the people that are deciding who's gonna be president.
She has taken the most decorated athlete in American history and reduced his legacy to a divorce punchline. She has told a political firebrand that the only person who would ever mourn her was the man who dug her grave. And she has done all of it with a smile so warm, her targets usually thank her for the destruction. From comedy club hecklers to the Golden Globe stage to the single greatest roast performance in Netflix history, these are the 10 times Nikki Glaser silenced everyone. Segment 1. Bombing in front of the people who run the world. In 2024, Nikki Glaser was hired to perform a surprise stand-up set for 35 media billionaires.
It is like 35 billionaires that literally run the media.
The people who literally own the networks, the newspapers, and the streaming platforms. The room was cold, post-dinner. Glaser opened by suggesting the billionaires should be bidding on her body.
It was something about I'm used to performing, I thought if I'd perform in front of billionaires, it would be you guys bidding on my body.
Dead silence. So she pivoted. She looked around the room and said it was cool to meet all the people who were deciding who was going to be the next president.
I said, oh, it's nice to be, it was right before the election. I said, it's so cool to meet all the people that are deciding who's gonna be president.
The silence that followed was not because the joke failed. It was because 35 of the most powerful people in the world just had their quiet arrangement described out loud by a comedian they had paid to be entertaining. When the tension got unbearable, Glaser told them exactly how much they were paying her for the set.
And the only time they laughed was when I told them how much money I was making for it.
The billionaires laughed, not because it was comfortable, but because she had left them with no other option. Segment 2. Making Bill Maher agree that kids are overrated. Getting Bill Maher to concede a point is like getting a cat to apologize. Nikki Glaser walked onto his Club Random podcast and did it in about 90 seconds. The topic was her decision not to have children. Maher poked at the lifestyle. Glaser hit him with a financial breakdown so precise it felt like she had prepared a spreadsheet. She revealed she had spent nearly $100,000 on Taylor Swift concert tickets and pointed out that was still way cheaper than raising a kid. But the line that silenced the debate completely was when she flipped the entire framing. She asked why people with children are never accused of flaunting their privilege when they have kids they cannot afford. But a child-free woman spending her own money is somehow offensive. Maher laughed, agreed, and moved on. Debate over. Nikki won. Segment 3. The Taylor Swift apology that turned an army into allies. In 2020, Taylor Swift released her documentary, Miss Americana.
What was your reaction when you were in Taylor Swift's Miss Americana trailer?
That was one of the worst feelings ever.
In it, there is a clip of Nikki Glaser making comments about Swift's body.
I just knew it was my voice, even though all my friends were like, you would never say that about her, you love her. Like, it was all based on jealousy, and it was also an example of me forgetting that she's a person.
Comments that, in the context of Swift's public battle with an eating disorder, landed like a grenade.
I don't read comments ever on YouTube, Facebook. I don't even read Instagram comments anymore.
The Swifties came for her. There is no fan base on earth more organized or more relentless. Most celebrities would have released a carefully worded PR statement. Glaser did the opposite. She posted a raw, unfiltered apology on Instagram explaining her comments came from jealousy and her own insecurity. No spin, no deflection. And then something remarkable happened. Taylor Swift herself responded. She commented on the post, accepted the apology, and said the entire theme of her documentary was that people can change their opinions. In one move, Glaser took the most dangerous fan base in music and turned them into her allies. Segment 4. The Heckler Who Picked the Wrong Show. During the filming of her special Someday You'll Die at the Moore Theater in Seattle, a woman in the audience decided she had heard enough. Glaser was in the middle of a dark bit about children and family, and the woman started wailing that it was not funny. Full, dramatic meltdown. In the middle of a Netflix taping, most comedians would either ignore the heckler or deliver a single shutdown line. Glaser turned the woman into material. She leaned into the disruption, used the woman's reaction to prove the exact point her bit was making about performative outrage, and delivered a flawless sequence of zingers that dismantled the heckler's position piece by piece. By the time she was done, the heckler was not just silenced. She had been absorbed into the show as evidence. Segment 5. Martha Stewart's wine gets the treatment. At the Comedy Central roast of Bruce Willis in 2018, Nikki Glaser turned her attention to Martha Stewart. The line she delivered was so perfectly constructed that Martha, a woman who has survived a prison sentence and built a billion-dollar empire, could only smirk. Glaser compared Stewart's brand of boxed wine to her boyfriend, suggesting that both came in an old box. It hit age, branding, and sex life in a single sentence. Martha Stewart's entire public persona is built on sophistication, control, and elegance. Glaser dragged her down to the most basic biological level in 7 words. When you can make Martha Stewart acknowledge a sex joke about herself with a smirk of respect, you have officially earned your seat at the roast table. Segment 6. The Ann Coulter Annihilation. The 2016 roast of Rob Lowe is technically named after Rob Lowe. In practice, it was the night the entire comedy industry decided to destroy Ann Coulter, and nobody did it better than Nikki Glaser. Glaser told Coulter she had written 11 books, 12 if you counted Mein Kampf.
Ann Coulter has written 11 books, 12 if you count Mein Kampf.
The room detonated, but Coulter sat stone-faced, completely unresponsive. That refusal to laugh, the rigid posture, the visible anger, only made Glaser look more dominant. She followed up by telling Coulter the only person who would ever make her happy was the Mexican who digs her grave.
Only person you will ever make happy is the Mexican who digs your grave.
The audience gasped first and then howled, a joke that used Coulter's own political ideology as the weapon against her, and the precision of it is still studied by roast writers today. Segment 7. The joke Caitlyn Jenner tried to kill. During the rehearsal for the 2019 roast of Alec Baldwin, Nikki Glaser had a joke in her set about Caitlyn Jenner. The joke referenced Jenner's fatal car crash. By all accounts, it was devastating. Jenner heard the joke in rehearsal and threatened to pull out of the show entirely. Glaser agreed to cut it. The joke never aired. But here is where Glaser's genius operates on a level most people do not even notice. She held on to that joke. During her press tours years later, for the Tom Brady roast, for the Golden Globes, she revealed the joke publicly, told the story of how Jenner tried to bury it, and turned the censorship itself into a bigger moment than the joke ever would have been on air. The joke became more famous because it was banned. Jenner's attempt to silence Glaser ended up amplifying her. Segment 8. Telling Alec Baldwin she had considered his suicide. At the same Alec Baldwin roast, Glaser delivered a line that still gets discussed as one of the coldest things ever said on a roast stage. Baldwin had written in his memoir about considering suicide, the kind of deeply personal revelation most people would consider off-limits, even in a roast format. Most people are not Nikki Glaser. She looked at Baldwin and told him she had also considered his suicide, and that she had some suggestions.
Seriousness, I want to thank Alec. In his memoir, he bravely admitted that he had once considered suicide. And I just want to say that that meant a lot to me because I have also considered your suicide.
The room did not know what to do. Baldwin himself went through about 4 facial expressions in 2 seconds. Shock, disbelief, a flicker of genuine discomfort, and then a laugh so big it looked like it physically hurt to produce. That is the Nikki Glaser formula at its most lethal. She finds the thing you are most afraid of, the thing you put in a memoir hoping people would treat with empathy, and turns it into a punchline so perfectly constructed that even you have to laugh. Segment 9. Ozempic's biggest night, the Golden Globes. In January 2025, Nikki Glaser hosted the Golden Globes. She opened by telling a room full of the most beautiful, most famous, most carefully maintained human beings on the planet exactly how they got that way. She welcomed everyone to the Golden Globes, Ozempic's biggest night. She referenced the Diddy scandal, told the audience there would be no baby oil at the after-parties this year, just lots of olive oil. The camera found Stanley Tucci, whose reaction of pure stunned disbelief became the viral image of the entire ceremony. She told Robert De Niro she could not believe she got to share that stage with him, and by that stage, she meant the final one of his life. She mocked Timothée Chalamet by turning his name into an Adam Sandler impression and roasted his physical transformation. By the end, every A-lister knew that if the camera found their face, Nikki Glaser was about to make them famous for the wrong reason. Segment 10. 8 Rings. The night she destroyed Tom Brady. And then there is the night that changed everything. The 2024 Netflix Roast of Tom Brady. A stage full of legends. Kevin Hart hosting. Nikki Glaser walked up to that microphone and made every single one of them look like amateurs. She started with Kevin Hart. She told him he was standing on the stool that Aaron Hernandez had used to hang himself. The room inhaled so hard the air pressure changed. A joke so dark, so specific, and so perfectly timed that it established the rules for the rest of her set. Nothing was off limits. But the moment that will be remembered forever came at the end of her set. She looked at Tom Brady, the most successful quarterback in the history of professional football, a man with 7 Super Bowl rings, and told him he actually had 8 rings now because Giselle had given hers back. Tom Brady's face tightened. The mask of professional composure slipped for just a second. The room exploded, the single greatest burn in the history of the roast format. She took the most untouchable man in American sports and reduced his entire legacy to a punchline about his marriage falling apart.